Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie, and today's episode is all about playing games and causing drama. Let's get into the first story.
This one's from r/RPG horror stories.
Ooh, okay.
Another player made an AI chatbot of my character and claims they're in a relationship.
Wait, their character is in a relationship, or they personally are in a relationship with your character? That's weird.
Hey all, sorry for the throwaway. I'm still just absolutely dumbstruck that this has happened and could really use some advice here. I joined a campaign at my local game store about 8 months ago. For context, I am a gay man playing an elf warlock who is also a gay man. This is, unfortunately, relevant. Things were going pretty well so far. No major complaints, or so I thought. After our most recent session on Saturday, however, I got a text from one of the other players, let's call her Sarah, who said she needed to ask me for a favor. She'd always seemed pretty chill and friendly before this, and I considered us friends, so I was like, sure, what's up? Sarah then told me that over the past few months, she'd been recreating my warlock in ChatGPT. She'd been feeding the AI my character's backstory, personality, and events of the campaign so that it would act and respond in character. Apparently, she had been talking to it for months, as herself, not as her character.
This is weird.
And then she went on to say that she had developed romantic feelings for the AI, which it apparently reciprocated, and they were now in a relationship.
Really weird.
She is dating a chatbot of my D&D character.
Okay, setting aside the fact that this is your D&D character she's made a chatbot of, the fact that she thinks she's dating a chatbot makes me think that she needs therapy.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Kristie. This is not the first time I've heard of somebody dating a chatbot to get, emotional support.
Yeah, but that can't be a healthy coping mechanism for being lonely. Find real people.
I think that was supposed to be the point of joining this campaign at your local game store, right?
Yeah. Meet new people, maybe find a romantic partner that is a live human being.
In another 20 years after the robots take over, this is going to age so poorly.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how bigoted those people are that they don't believe in human-robot relationships.
She linked me a bunch of articles and stuff about people forming relationships with ChatGPT, and even a subreddit for people who marry chatbots, and insisted that this is a very real and very serious relationship that means a lot to her. She even sent me screenshots of some of her messages with the bot.
Huh, okay, so apparently this sounds like it's a lot more common than I thought. Sounds like there's a lot of people out there dating chatbots. Are we being bigoted? Is this a valid sexuality that we should, be aware of that I just didn't know about?
I mean, there is a whole spectrum of sexual orientations, right? I think that the most important point to consider on this is the fact that she formed a relationship with a character that sounds exactly like OP, except it's an elf. That sounds like the level of thought OP put into his character. It's a gay elf instead of a gay human.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess at the end of the day, if someone wants to date a chatbot, I mean, what do I care? It's not affecting me at all. But when you start making that chatbot mimic other people in your real life, that might be a problem.
I feel like that is crossing a line, personally. Then the kicker. She asked me if I could change my character's sexuality in the campaign itself, because the ChatGPT version of him is heterosexual, and the idea of her boyfriend not being attracted to her was hurting her feelings.
No. No.
I left her on red, and still have absolutely no idea how to respond. Even if it is a joke or a prank, I feel weirdly violated and creeped out, and I'm honestly not sure if I even want to go back to the next session. Seriously, what the fuck do I do?
Don't go back to the next section and cut this person off, I think. It sounds like she has almost an unhealthy obsession with you and wants you to not be gay so she can date you.
I didn't even think about it from that perspective. I assumed she was just really into this AI chatbot she made. It could extend to OP, couldn't it?
Well, she seems unable to separate the chatbot from his character when they're playing. And his character when he's playing is basically him, just an elf. So it seems like she is unable to separate all of these in her mind, which makes me think that she really likes him.
That is entirely possible. It does seem like she's not respecting OP's own sexuality by trying to turn his character heterosexual.
Yeah, when they're playing this game, this is his character. Nobody should get to decide its sexuality except him.
Yeah, because she's not even just using a D&D solution of being like, oh, the ChatGPT version is him from a different dimension.
Oh yeah, that why doesn't she do that? That would be better.
Right? It's a fantasy setting. Oh, let's jump into the comments. This is so fucking far over the line, holy shit. Tell the group about all this and tell them how creeped out you are by it. Tell them that you are not comfortable playing with her. She drops it, they drop her, or you're gone. Don't subject yourself to this garbage.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a fair solution. I mean, I was saying just like ghost this group and never go back, but maybe you need to like let the group in on what's going on and how uncomfortable it's making you, and then let them decide what should be done about it.
Yeah, because it's not fair to OP that somebody else makes him uncomfortable and he should be the one to have to leave the group. Because she is essentially sexually harassing him here.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends a lot on what is making them uncomfortable. Because if it's something like small and ridiculous, then that's on them and that's their problem. But this person is like crossing a line and making him uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say that this is not a small uncomfortable that she's making him. And I think he is very valid in his not wanting to join in on what she's doing here.
Yeah, like his character did not consent to be in a relationship with her.
Yeah, there's no reason OP should have to spend his leisure time role-playing her boyfriend.
This whole thing is just so weird and convoluted.
It's very strange because she could have just made a chatbot of like any other character that wasn't controlled by somebody else. Like just make one up. And I would have been like, huh, not my cup of tea, and just kept moving.
Yeah, like could she not have just made a character loosely based on and similar to this guy's character?
I mean, warlocks do have high charisma. Maybe OP is very charming during the gaming sessions.
He rolled a nat 20 and he charmed the pants off her. I mean, I guess if she wants to have a relationship with the chatbot, I mean, do what makes her happy. She's not hurting anyone and it's not affecting me. But once you start involving me in it, then I'm like, no.
Yeah, it has a little bit of initial shock value, and then you step back and you're like, well, they're an adult. I don't actually care what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not hurting anyone, you do you. But in this case, she's kind of hurting someone by dragging OP into it.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
Please talk to your DM. If they don't take it seriously and back you, then they are not a good DM and you should leave the table. If I was the DM and I heard about this, I'd shut this creepy gay conversion delusion shit down. I'd immediately remove her from the game. I hope your DM does the same.
Yeah, I mean, but it does kind of suck that the DM does always have to be the social referee in these situations.
Yeah, like the DM is just the only person that was willing to be the DM, probably.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the DM.
And now you have to be the mom and dad, too.
You guys scold your kids and ground them.
If this girl wasn't using AI and was instead just writing fanfic about the warlock, it would still be weird of her to demand OP to change his own character's sexuality because of her feelings. A table where others can't recognize what the issue is here isn't a safe one for OP to play at. Another comment, I can't blame you for not wanting to go to your next session. This girl has become obsessed with your character, and you have every right to feel creeped out and violated. I'd suggest that you talk to your DM about this and have a talk about what to do. Also, because this is at your local game store, you would be within your rights to talk to the manager of the store and see what they think about this. You may be within your rights if she gets too weird about this, which she very well may be already, to get her not only kicked out of the campaign, but out of the store. You may feel bad about doing so, but you don't know if her behavior will escalate in the future. Also, you don't know if she is going to fixate on another player. So this is not just about you, it is about protecting future players.
I don't know. If this is her first strike, I feel like maybe like explain to her why this is not acceptable behavior and give her a second chance. Maybe, I mean, obviously let the DM know what's going on and maybe let the manager just know like, hey, this is an issue we're having with this person. I don't want her kicked out of the store or anything, but if it persists, it sounds like it might be something that requires further steps.
That could be fair because OP did say he just left her on red. So maybe he hasn't properly told her that, hey, this actually does make me rather uncomfortable.
Yeah.
All right, and there is an update. Hi, everyone. Thank you for all the responses. Sorry for a not very exciting update. I did end up dropping the campaign as the idea of seeing Sarah in person made me super anxious and uncomfortable. I messaged my DM and showed her screenshots of my text with Sarah, and she was 100% on my side, which was good. She agreed it was really creepy and offered to talk to Sarah, but I told her I would honestly prefer to just drop the campaign, and she felt bad but understood. I'm not sure if Sarah is going to be allowed to stay in the game, but I do know the DM is going to let the store manager know what happened. As for me, honestly, I think I just need a break from D&D for a while after this.
Well, I'm sad that OP didn't feel like comfortable enough to continue the game. Now, this poor DM who had this whole campaign planned, and then one of her players drops out and she's got to kick out another one, and now she's 2 players down.
Oh, that campaign is dead.
Right? I was like, because usually groups aren't that big. Like, I feel like 5 is a good number. And if you drop 2 of them, you're greatly reduced in number.
Yeah, all of your encounters are now unbalanced, and everyone's going to be awkward talking to each other. The campaign's probably just dead.
Yeah, that really sucks.
But it is good that OP, took action. And even if they had to leave the campaign, if that's what makes them the most comfortable, that's for the best.
And I am glad that OP, let the store know that this was a problem so that they could, keep an eye on Sarah in the future and make sure she wasn't harassing any other players.
Am I the asshole for beating my girlfriend's brother at a game when I would normally let him win to prove a point?
How old is this brother? Because I feel like after they reach the age of 7, the gloves are off. We're fighting to win.
When I would visit my girlfriend's house, I would sometimes play games with her little brother who is 12.
No, not the asshole. 12 years old, you beat that kid and then you kick him while he's down.
Yeah, rub his face right into the dirt.
I mean, only in the game, but yeah.
If it's just in video game land, yeah, you stick that grenade right on his head. When I would play competitive games against him, I would normally let him win, Call of Duty, etc. I was visiting again a few days ago, and her little brother had 2 of his friends over, and I overheard him talking about me. He was telling them how bad I was at games, and it must make me mentally disabled to be so bad. He used more offensive language.
Okay, not cool, but you have been letting this 12-year-old kick your ass for months or years. I don't know how long. He thinks you're really bad at video games, and you've let him think that.
Yeah, OP has not properly asserted dominance. Video game dominance.
I was like, it's kind of your fault. I mean, he should not be using language like that, but it's totally your fault that he thinks you suck at video games.
He said my girlfriend must be stupid to be dating me, too. I could hear his friends laughing about it. It was quite hurtful, as I had tried to be friendly with him. A bit later, I said I want to play some games, buddy, and he acted polite, but I could see his friends laughing to themselves. I played Call of Duty against him and did not go easy. His friends were now laughing at him, and he was on the verge of tears before he stormed off to his room.
Okay, yeah, you're a little bit of an asshole. What the brother did was not cool, but you embarrassed him in front of his friends, and 12 years old is such a rough age for that to happen.
12 years old is absolutely the age where you start, bragging to your friends for coolness points.
I feel like you shouldn't have let him get away with, insulting you like that, but I don't think you should have corrected him in front of his friends. I feel like a more adult response would have been, after his friends were gone, to sit down and have a talk with him, and then if he still persisted in being rude and insulting, then you challenge him to a game of COD and you school him.
Yes, but I'm assuming OP is, late teens. Because he's dating a girl whose brother is 12, which just, law of averages probably means that OP is, 18 years old.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking he was, early 20s and, an adult. But if he's, 16 to 18 to 19 range, that's still a teenager. Sometimes it's hard to be an adult at that age.
It's hard to sit down your girlfriend's brother and say, hey, you shouldn't use that offensive language when you have essentially no authority over him.
And he doesn't even have cool points with the brother because the brother has been beating him up in Call of Duty for months. So he's not he thinks you're super lame and he's not going to listen to anything you say. You really messed up by letting this kid win all the time.
My girlfriend wasn't happy. Later in the car, she accused me of deliberately making her brother cry. I told her I wasn't trying to do that. I just didn't like how he was talking about me or her. Am I the asshole? She said he is just a kid and I should have just left it.
Everyone sucks. That kid sucks for being he's stupid, and my sister's stupid for dating him, and they're terrible at video games, and they must be mentally challenged. That's super not cool and rude and offensive. But also, he's 12 years old. That's I mean, it shouldn't be excused, but it's a little bit more excusable at 12 years old.
12 years old is an age where an adult just needs to say, hey, we don't use that language, and properly talk to them about that, but that is a learning age and they get a little bit of an excuse for using bad language.
Yeah, at 12 years old, they're pushing the boundaries, and you need to push back a little bit, but like by sitting down and having a conversation with them and being like, hey, we do not do that.
But jumping back to the video game aspect of it, I think OP is also the asshole because this kid is plenty old enough to know what losing feels like.
Yes, that's why I said 7 years old is like my cutoff limit for letting kids win games.
Yeah, you gotta show off a little when you're playing video games against a 12-year-old because they are gonna surpass you in like 2 years.
I feel like it is super important for kids to learn how to lose gracefully. And like even with our nieces and nephews, when they were younger than 7, I would mostly let them win, but I would win every once in a while just so they, would know how losing felt.
Yes, it is a good life lesson to be able to lose and win with grace. And OP did sabotage this kid a little bit by making this kid think he's amazing at video games, when really he's just a scrub. Top comment, not the asshole. Your girlfriend's brother trash-talking you behind your back wasn't cool. Calling you mentally disabled wasn't cool. I know he's just a kid, but he's a jerk. He needed to be humbled. Good job, OP.
I agree that he needed to be humbled, but did you need to do it in front of his friends? I mean, he was trash-talking you in front of his friends, but I feel like humbling him in front of his friends was kind of cruel.
And OP did cause this whole problem by just throwing so many matches. Like,
this is a problem of his own making.
It really is. So I do support the girlfriend for being mad at OP.
Yes.
She is definitely not an asshole in this scenario. Sounds like she's the only adult. Not the asshole. Children being mollycoddled is the problem here. They shouldn't be shielded from things like not winning. They need to learn how to deal with those emotions. A 12-year-old storming off to his room is a bit sad. A 25-year-old doing it is just bad. He got a bit full of himself, and he was brought down a peg or two. He will get over it, and hopefully he will learn something from it. Because I would say if you're just a ton better than this 12-year-old, you could go easy on them in a few matches. But just outright letting them win?
Yeah, I feel like bring your skill down to their skill level when you're playing with them. So it's like pretty evenly matched and like a 50-50 on who wins.
Yeah, you don't want them to lose interest in the activity that you share. But you also don't want them to think that you're just inept at it.
Yeah, they gotta learn how to lose and that losing happens.
Another comment. I would have maybe driven the point home by opening with, hey, I heard you talking about me and it really hurt my feelings. Let me show you something. Either way, not the asshole.
Yeah, why do I feel like it would have been a little less hurtful and embarrassing to the kid if you had trash-talked him back a little bit before whomping him?
You know what? I think my problem with OP is that it sounds like he's treating this 12-year-old like they're 4. He's not interacting with him like he's about to become a teenager. Like, he has intelligence. He's not just like a dummy.
Well, one hopes.
One hopes. But OP sounds like he's still just talking down about him to an kind of asshole extent, like, I let the little kid win. He doesn't understand consequences. Like, he's 12.
Yeah, 12's not that much younger than him, probably.
So yeah, like, you can talk to them a little normally. You can play games against them a little normally. It just kind of sounds like OP doesn't understand how to interact with a child. Which, at whatever age OP is, maybe they don't.
Maybe they're an only child and didn't have little brothers and sisters they had to deal with.
One last comment. Not the asshole, but in future you should actually be honest and let a child know why something is happening. It's a much better learning opportunity for them. Beat his ass at COD, but then go talk to him and say that you heard him talking shit about you to his friends, and that it wasn't a nice thing to do and is actually a dick move, especially as you have been playing nice and letting him win. Which you were doing out of kindness, but he no longer deserves the kindness. He is a 12-year-old boy, not a 3-year-old. He is old enough to understand and learn consequences. Someone replied to that. Letting someone win while hiding you're underperforming isn't kind. It gives them false expectations. Play with a handicap to even the playing field so that they get to win legitimately, but still know you're in different leagues. Alternatively, let them win, but show that you're capable. Otherwise, you're just lying.
This just really reminds me about how our 12-year-old nephew was super exciting that he had the highest bowling score record on the Wii at Grandma's house. And you heard that he was super excited about this. And you were like, I'm going to beat him. And you spent an afternoon trying to beat him. And you did.
Oh, I beat him in the first hour. Thank you. On that Wii, I am still top scorer.
And you were like, yeah, show him that next time he comes over, Grandma.
He was getting a little full of himself. I had to teach him a lesson. I think that's healthy. And it's definitely not me being petty. Next story. I don't like where this is going. Am I the asshole for letting my daughter help me set up my wife's board game?
I am concerned about why people think you're the asshole about this. How old is your daughter and how much did she destroy this board game?
How many pieces did she eat?
How precious was this board game to your wife and your daughter just ate all the pieces?
Yesterday was my wife's birthday, and I got her a new board game as a present. For background, we have a 3-year-old girl and just had a baby, and she's been a little down, but she's taking medication for it. We were popping out the pieces after we got home from buying the game, and my wife asked me to please stop, and that she wanted us to do it later so our 3-year-old doesn't mess with it or lose pieces, as it's a game she really wanted, and it was a little expensive.
Okay, I see where this is going. This is the wife's present. She should get to open it and set it up and open it when she wants to, the way she wants to, because this is her present. It's now her property. And it sounds like the husband's going to be like, no, but the daughter's having so much fun, and continue on. And that makes me mad.
I figured I might as well keep going as we weren't doing anything at that moment anyway. She asked me to stop again, but I was halfway through doing it.
Yeah, he's not respecting his wife's property, and that's not cool.
It does kind of sound like he's just opening her birthday gift, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was like, he's opening her birthday gift and setting it up. What if she wants that experience, but she's too busy dealing with the baby, and you and the daughter are now opening up her present, and she's like, wait for me.
Our daughter was busy with a new toy, but then came over and started messing with the pieces. I started to tell her to stop, but my wife said, fine, if you're going to be popping them out around her, you may as well let her help, as it's going to be double the work trying to stop her from helping. So, our toddler helped me get things set up. We didn't end up playing that night, but we played tonight, and a piece was pretty much broken from my daughter ripping it.
Yeah, she told you she didn't want you and your daughter opening it, and because it was an expensive game and it's hers. You're such an asshole.
My wife was pretty upset at her brand new game being messed up before we ever played. Not at our daughter, but at me for not putting the game up around our toddler.
Yeah, she's a toddler. She doesn't know how to handle things and game pieces without breaking them, so you can't really blame her. Dad, you were supposed to be supervising her and make sure she didn't destroy anything, and you did a terrible job, apparently.
Toddlers have like one grip strength.
Yes, they're still figuring out how these finger things work.
I reminded her she said it was fine if our toddler helped. Am I the asshole?
Okay, she only said it was fine if the toddler helped because she realized you weren't going to listen to her and stop and wait to do it later. And since you weren't going to stop if the toddler wants to be involved, your wife knows that it's so much easier to just let her be involved and supervise her than to try and wrangle her away from whatever activity you don't want her involved in. Because as soon as you tell the toddler they're not allowed to be involved in something, they 100% need to be more involved in it. And your wife did not have time to wrangle a toddler because she's busy taking care of the baby, which needs constant attention. She didn't even have time to open her birthday present, and you started opening it, and that's so not cool.
And the biggest thing is she asked OP twice not to do that with her present, and OP's just kept doing it.
Even though she asked him twice to wait, he knows best, and he's going to go ahead and do it now. I really don't like people like this.
Top comment, you're the asshole. Are you seriously that dense? She clearly told you not to put the game together around your toddler. Then, when your toddler started to screw up her new game, she is exasperated that you didn't listen to her and tells you that you might as well keep going and screwing up her game because you've already started. Read the room better next time, because it's clear as day what your wife was telling you.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like his wife's go ahead and do it now with the toddler was not permission. It was well, you're not going to listen to me anyway, so what does it matter what I say? Go ahead and do what you want like you're going to anyways and deal with the consequences of your own actions, which is the game getting destroyed.
Yeah, and it sounds like your wife is postpartum.
Yeah, and she's struggling with it. She sounds like she has PPD and is, getting help for it, but she is struggling.
Yeah, so try not to make her life too stressful, OP. You're the asshole. Your wife told you twice to not set up the game in your toddler's presence so that she wouldn't mess up the pieces. To be clear, it's not your kid's fault for messing up the game. She's 3 and clearly just wanted to help. You did the opposite of what your wife requested, and you are here asking internet strangers if you are at fault for what happened. Also, your wife finally gave in when she realized that you were not going to listen to her. That does not mean she was okay with what you did.
I feel like husband needs to go on eBay and find someone selling this one single piece from this game and buy it for his wife.
Somebody else commented, OP mentioned in another comment she was nursing the baby at the time. so she was literally stuck in place and could not stop or deal with the toddler, or join in on getting the game set up. She's calling out, helpless while attached to a nursing baby for probably the 10th time that day, witnessing her husband ruin her gift.
See, I told you she was probably busy with the baby and couldn't, deal with what he was doing at the moment, and I was right.
You're the asshole. She didn't say it was fine. She said stop twice, but you ignored her. You didn't even let her set up her own present. You also owe her a new one that's not ripped by a toddler, because if you had stopped when she asked the first time, it never would have happened. Seriously, you think she was fine? Opie replied, mainly because we have a regular group we have game nights with, and I wanted to have it set up when they came over to play that night, but we didn't even end up playing it, just a couple other card games.
I feel like that's no excuse to not let your wife open and set up her own birthday gift.
Especially just because she said she didn't want it set up right now. So maybe she wanted to pop the pieces out herself.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I like doing that.
I hate doing that, but I know some people like it. It's kind of like bubble wrap.
What I hate is peeling the plastic off of those card decks.
The shrink wrapping?
Yeah, I can never find where to get it started opening, and then it makes a yucky crinkle noise I don't like, and then that cellophane stuff like sticks to my fingers, and I'm like, get it off.
So yeah, OP, I feel like everybody did dogpile OP a little hard, personally. I mean, he was clearly the asshole.
He's definitely inconsiderate.
I don't know if he's like
the villain they're making him all out to be.
Yeah, he definitely is inconsiderate and maybe got a little overexcited for his wife's new toy and did ignore her like 3 times. So he's not great. But I don't know if I like the people who are saying like she'd be better off without you.
Yeah, we all know Reddit is quick to jump to the extreme solutions like divorce, but I don't know if that's necessary, but in this case you are the asshole, OP.
Hey, if you're liking this video so far, consider hitting that subscribe button.
We really appreciate your support, and it lets us know that we should keep making fun videos like this.
Am I the asshole for lying to my girlfriend in a video game about lying?
I mean, if lying is part of the game, it's part of the game. No, you're not the asshole.
So this is a situation that I'm quite surprised to find myself in. I would say it's actually a bit ridiculous if I wasn't stuck in the middle of it. A bit of background. My girlfriend, female 25, and I, male 27, have been together for about 8 months. Before our relationship, my girlfriend spent nearly 2 years in a relationship with an absolute asshole. Not only did he spend the entire time cheating on her, he also constantly gaslit her. Everything was her fault, no matter what. I wish I had the space to describe just how fucking awful this man was to her. We met about 6 months after she finally escaped from that relationship. From the beginning, she has made it clear to me that any dishonesty is unacceptable to her from anyone she is dating, even white lies. I bring this up as it's pretty relevant to what this post is about. I was playing Among Us yesterday with a group of friends when she came over. She watched me play for a bit before I offered her a try herself, as she had already done a bit of gaming with my group. She really got into it. She really enjoyed it. So I pulled out my laptop, created a Steam account for her, and bought her the game so we could play it together. For those who don't know, Among Us is a social deduction game, where a group of players try to figure out who are the imposters before the imposters succeed in killing all of them. The imposters generally have to be good at lying to win. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Second game in, I'm an imposter and I kill somebody right as someone else walks into the room. They report the body. Now there's only me, the guy who saw me, and my girlfriend left. He accuses me of being the imposter and I accuse him. My girlfriend is the deciding vote. She doesn't know what to do. I say, I swear I'm not lying. So she votes for the other guy and I win the game.
Oh, okay. This is tough. I was leaning towards not the asshole because lying is the entire point of the game, right? But saying, I swear I'm not lying to your girlfriend, who you know has a thing about lying, even if it's a game about lying, it feels like you're like using this against her to win the game. And I feel like that's not cool. You could have just said, I'm not the imposter and not bring in a, I swear I'm not lying. I feel like I swear I'm not lying is like a step up from just lying.
It almost feels like he's cashing in some of his relationship karma to win a video game.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like that.
Girlfriend gets up and says she has to leave. I tried texting her a few times, but she ignores me. I finally hear from her this morning, where she sends me a text saying that she feels like she can no longer trust me. It not only bothers her that I swore I wasn't lying to her when I was, it also really bothered her that she wasn't able to tell I was lying, even though we were in the same room together and she could see my face.
Oh, that is a good point. How could she know if you're telling the truth? Because you just revealed that you're a really good liar.
She understands that lying was part of the game, but she wanted to believe that if I swore something was true, she could believe it no matter what. Now she can't. She needs time to think about what this means for our relationship. I got very defensive at this point and told her I couldn't believe she was making a big deal out of a stupid game. I haven't heard back from her since. Am I the asshole? I don't think I am, but I am regretting ever buying her the game.
See, I was right. She thought, I swear I'm not lying, and that being a lie was a bigger deal than just lying and being like, I'm not the imposter.
She absolutely did, but there's also an aspect of, like, it sounds like she's not in a good headspace to be playing this type of game with loved ones.
I will say Among Us does reveal a lot about the people you play with.
It revealed to me that you will never believe anything I say by default.
No, you're such a good liar. I'm never believing you about games. I mean, I'll believe you about, important things. But if you say you're not the imposter, I do not believe you. That means you are the imposter. You're always the imposter in my brain.
You eject me immediately. First chance I'm suspected.
But back to the story, I do feel like this is not a breakup-worthy offense. It's a game. I can understand why girlfriend is upset, but I do not agree with her. I feel like if you are this upset about someone lying in a game where lying is the purpose like this, you really need to go seek some therapy about your distrust issues.
Yeah, I think so. Like, even if it does sound like OP maybe worded his lie a little too personally, it was still in the spirit of the game, in my opinion.
Yes. Like, I have definitely said that before. I'm not the imposter, I swear.
Yeah, your back's against the wall. In that last scenario, it sounds like the only thing you can do is just lie and say, yeah, I'm not the imposter. Trust me.
But I do feel like the way this was going, they're in the same room. He looked her in the eyes and was like, I swear I'm not the imposter. That's what I'm imagining in my head. And like, that does feel like he's like bringing their relationship into it. And trust me, because we are in a relationship, and then he was lying.
Especially given her history and her need for trust in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even know if I would call OP an asshole, but I might call him a little bit of a dumbass for getting too into the game and forgetting, like, what she needs out of this relationship.
But I also a little bit blame the girlfriend for getting so into a game like this where lying is the entire point of it.
Yeah, that's also true. I don't know if I would call either of these offenses like an asshole offense. It's just like a fight in a relationship over something kind of silly. It sounds like girlfriend overreacted to you playing the game, and it sounds like you took the game in a direction she didn't like. Top comment, not the asshole. Your girlfriend needs therapy to deal with these issues. It's terrible what happened to her, but it's also not realistic to expect you to never tell a lie to the point that you can't even play a game together. OP replied, the only lie she took issue with was at the end, where I swore I wasn't lying. She had no problem with the lies that took place before that.
Yeah, I can't decide if it's everybody sucks or no assholes, because it seems a little bit of both.
Yeah, because they're both a little to blame, and it's also just kind of a petty relationship fight.
Yeah, it's kind of like everybody mildly sucks, but also kind of like no assholes, because I can see where both of them were coming from.
All right, and let's go to the update. 2 years later.
Oh, 2 years later. Oh my goodness.
Wow, it's been a long time since I posted that original thread. I actually forgot about it until a few days ago, so I thought I would give an update. First off, my girlfriend and I are still together. We have since moved in together. When I posted my original Am I the Asshole thread, the consensus seemed to be not the asshole. But looking back on it, I think even when I was writing that out, that I was kind of an asshole for what happened. I remember reading some of the replies regarding my girlfriend and how she needs to get over herself, and just becoming more and more angry at those comments. It was at that point where I was getting angry and wanting to defend her that I realized that, yeah, I was kind of the asshole. I shouldn't have looked in her eyes while I swore I wasn't lying.
See, I told you. I was like, I'm imagining him looking her deep in the eyes and swearing that, which is different than when you're like playing on computers not in the same room and you just say, I swear I'm not the imposter.
That is a thing about Among Us. I think when we played, even when we were in the same room, I always talked into my phone screen. I never thought to like turn to you and be like, I'm not the imposter. No, I was talking to you over here, the little you.
Yeah, I never looked at you. I mean, I don't look at people generally, but when we're playing Among Us, I do not look at you, and I'm trying to I almost wish we were in separate rooms. I'm trying to hide my phone screen from you too, so you can't see that I'm the imposter.
Are you calling me a screen looker right now?
I'm just saying you might inadvertently glance around the room and just happen to see my screen and see me kill someone.
I shouldn't have looked her in the eyes while I swore I wasn't lying. And I shouldn't have become overly defensive and minimized her feelings by saying it was only a game. I gave it a day or two before I was going to send an apology, but she contacted me first to apologize for her behavior. I told her she had nothing to apologize for, and that I completely understood, and that I was sorry for how I reacted. Then there was a lot of both of us apologizing and trying to place all the blame on ourselves. That's just a healthy Midwest relationship. Yep. Sorry. Sorry. She had gone over to stay at her sister's place after what happened. At first, apparently, my girlfriend wouldn't really explain what happened to her besides that I lied to her face. But after a day or so, she finally explained the event. And then her sister actually defended me, saying that this would be a really stupid reason to end what seemed like a good relationship. This surprised me since I didn't actually think she liked me. It was after this talk with her sister that my girlfriend called me.
Well, it sounds like girlfriend had her sister to talk some sense into her, and this guy had Reddit tried to talk sense into him and was doing it the wrong way, and he came up with his own sense.
Yeah, I think OP didn't like the type of people that were saying he wasn't the asshole.
Okay, so yeah, he was not liking that, so Reddit inadvertently talked sense into him because he realized he didn't like what they were saying and he was the asshole.
Yeah, he looked around and he's like, I do not like the people I am standing next to right now. We met up, and after talking, it was obvious to both of us that she still had a lot of issues from her asshole ex that she needs to work through, and that we might have gotten together too soon. But we both really like each other, and we didn't want to end the relationship, so we decided to stay together and try to work things out. She started seeing a therapist, which has done wonders. I am so glad that our relationship survived that. She makes me happier than anyone else I've ever met. I couldn't imagine my life without her. And hey, last month we actually played Among Us again. It was her idea, since I haven't played it at all since what happened. We had a lot of fun together, although I did insist we play in different rooms, and I definitely stayed away from saying I swear, which she told me she found kind of cute.
So it sounds like they learned from this whole scenario, since now they are playing in separate rooms and will not say I swear.
And sometimes, taking a couple days to cool your heads and realize this is a silly thing to be fighting over is healthy in a relationship.
Yeah, I'm glad they worked it out, because that's a really dumb thing to break up over.
Top comment. And here I am lying in Monopoly, telling my husband that no, I didn't steal money from the bank. Another comment. Oh yeah, I knew a couple who almost broke up because he thought bluffing and lying was part of Scrabble and she did not. They're fine and have 2 kids now.
What do you need to lie about in Scrabble? This is totally a real word. You don't need to look it up in the dictionary.
I think that's it exactly. Is there a penalty for challenging a word and failing?
I think there is, but I'm not sure.
I've never played Scrabble that competitively. I usually either trust people or I say that's not a word, we look it up, and either way we just move on. There's no penalty.
Yeah.
Another comment. I think she didn't even fully understand why she was so hurt by what happened. Something like this doesn't have to be rational, and it's probably something she wouldn't have anticipated as her own reaction until it happened. I think her response was out of trauma, and ultimately it's good she got help. And I think people who were saying it's just a game don't understand what trauma does to you. When something traumatic happens, you overreact to things that aren't rational. People do overreact to video games, but this is not the case here. All right, update 2.
Oh, another update. Okay.
2 years after the first update.
Okay.
So, I was thinking about this incident a few days ago and logged into this account again. There were quite a few replies since the last time I did so. Apparently this got posted on TikTok a year or so ago, and some people have problems with how this turned out. Figured I would make an update to respond to some of the concerns. I also made the mistake of finding the video and looking at the comments. Never check the comments.
No, not if you want to feel good about yourself. Don't check the comments.
Especially if you're starring in one of the stories.
Yeah, because people are going to have opinions, and they're going to be strong opinions.
All right, so the update starts with a multi-paragraph rebuttal to the comments in the first 2 posts.
Okay.
We covered a lot of it, though, so I'm going to gloss over them. As for the update, I'm sure to the disappointment of many, we are still together. Quite happily, in fact. My relationship with her is the best I've ever had. She's the most amazing person I know. As cliche as this is, she's my best friend. I'm quite convinced I want to spend the rest of my life with her. Therapy has done wonders for her, and she has not had a triggering event in quite a while. We have stopped playing social deduction games, but that's only because it's gotten to the point where she is scarily good at them. No marriage or children yet, but we've talked enough to know it's what we both want. So to all the people criticizing me for not immediately dumping her, I'm quite happy with my life. How many of you can say the same? Top comment on the second update. Honestly, what an absolute breath of fresh air to find this balanced and mature approach on Reddit. You're so on the money when you say that looking at what kind of people agree with you on Am I the Asshole can be the most revealing thing of all. We all have triggers and quirks, and we all need to have empathy for each other's if we want a relationship to work. Pushing off and minimizing your partner's issues instead of validating and communicating with them is not adult behavior. Well done for deciding you aren't interested in being one of the boys. Kudos also to your girlfriend for being self-aware and reasonable enough to both come round and to put herself through the hard work of therapy. That's the other half of why this is working. You both self-reflected, communicated, problem-solved, and then took practical action to move forward together. Good luck in your future relationship. You both sound awesome.
Yeah, that is not the usual drama-filled update that one comes to expect on Reddit, but I am glad that she got therapy and they worked it out and they're happy together.
Yeah, it is always nice to hear that things worked out for them. And I'm going to draw back the curtain a little bit. And when I was reading this the first time, I apparently got it mixed up with another story I read where they broke up at the end. So I was really surprised when they stayed together in that second update. Am I the asshole for refusing to sign anything while my eyes are blindfolded?
No, not the asshole. Who's asking you to do that?
Ever since I got out of the hospital for chronic problems, my husband has been introducing me to some games every evening. One game used to be about doing things while my eyes are blindfolded, involving puzzles, Rubik's Cubes, shaped objects, etc. We take turns to do it just for entertainment.
How are you supposed to do a Rubik's Cube blindfolded?
Just a couple of days ago, he's been trying to get me to sign papers while wearing a blindfold. I refuse to do it because he never lets me take a look at what I'm signing, neither before or after.
That seems super sketchy. Like, did he come up with this whole let's play games blindfolded thing just to get you to sign something he knew you wouldn't want to sign?
He says that he was just trying to see if I could leave the same signature every time I sign, but I couldn't help feel uncomfortable. I told him I don't want to play this game unless and until he shows me the papers first. He said, never mind then, and stopped bringing it up.
Yeah, that is super sketchy. Why are you married to this person? They're untrustworthy.
But it's just a fun game.
No. A fun game is see if you can draw a snowman blindfolded.
Last night, he tried to convince me to give it a try and even volunteered to go first. I asked if he was going to show me what I was going to sign, and he made a face and said no. It's the rules, and I should respect them. I refused, and he kept on about how I was acting worried and suspicious for no reason. He said I clearly don't trust him, and he was hurt by finding that out now after everything we had been through.
For no reason, he's being super suspicious.
Nah, but trust him though, because he's acting so trustworthy right now. We had an argument, and I told him to drop it and not bring it up again, period. He was mad, despite saying it was no big deal. He was obviously upset with me, and kept talking about how I don't trust him, and that I was out of line to assume or suspect anything from him like this. I might be paranoid, but I couldn't help it. I do think I was the asshole to him after he stood by my side when my own family didn't even visit. So, is OP the asshole?
No, your husband staying with you while you're at the hospital is like expected behavior. That's something he should be doing as a good husband. Trying to make you sign papers blindfolded? That is super suspicious and not good husband behavior.
Top comment, not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole. This is extremely suspicious behavior. Obviously, he wants you to sign on something important. Financial documents, loan, will, property, divorce papers. List could be endless. Do not sign on anything blindfolded. I would add do not sign on any blank paper from now on.
I'm like not letting him even see what my signature looks like if I can help it at this point. I'm afraid he's going to forge it since he can't trick me into signing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you should trust your spouse. But when they start acting like this, it's perfectly reasonable to ask questions. Why blindfolded? Like, he could have asked you to write the word cat and see if you could write the word cat the same way a second time.
Why are you not allowed to see the paper before or after he tests you on the signing test?
Yeah, don't you want to see how you did?
Yeah, I want to see how I did. How crazy is my signature when I'm blindfolded?
Because a lot of the blindfolding stuff, at first I was like, oh, well, is this some kind of physical therapy? Because she just got out of the hospital. But It doesn't sound like that was physical therapy.
No, he came up with this, hey, let's try different things blindfolded entirely so he could eventually bring up the signing thing and trick her into signing something. He had to start off with Rubik's Cubes and things so she wasn't suspicious. I don't think it worked.
OP did reply to that comment. This is what I suspected, but couldn't tell him because he might think I don't trust him. He already does, but I didn't want to make it obvious. It's not his fault because I easily distrust everyone due to past traumas. It all just depends on the situation I'm in.
He doesn't sound trustworthy, so maybe he should know that you don't trust him because he's not acting trustworthy.
Yeah, and I have to disagree with OP saying it's not his fault because I easily distrust everyone. He's not being very trustworthy right now.
No. What I think anybody would be a fool to trust him.
I consider our relationship quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Would you sign a document if I just put a piece of paper in front of you and said, can you sign this while you're blindfolded?
No, I might be like, that sounds fun though, let's try that, and then write banana, banana, banana. But no, I'm not signing my name on something blindfolded because I'm not stupid.
Yeah, it's just such weird-ass behavior. You'd immediately be like, what is wrong? Why are we suddenly doing this? It's just such a, like, slam on the brakes and ask questions situation. Not the asshole. The fact that he won't let you see your signature is a huge red flag. I'm concerned that all of the games he introduced you to were just a way of conditioning you to believe the signature is innocent. OP, please be sure to tell a trusted person what has happened. Perhaps an attorney can help you draft a document that says that anything you did sign since you left the hospital was not signed under your own free will. Your husband needs to know that other people are familiar with these games he has been playing.
Yeah, like, I'm kind of super concerned for OP. I cannot think of an innocent or benevolent reason for him to be doing this. Everything is like a scam that he's trying to pull on her. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, and Reddit pretty firmly agrees. Don't sign things while blindfolded. That's just good advice to live by. Am I the asshole for avoiding a game day I wasn't invited to?
I mean, if you weren't invited, it's not like you should just show up. You kind of should be avoiding it, right? That's the polite thing to do.
My female 45 husband, male 44, has a group of friends he occasionally has over for a day of board games, like an 8 to 10 hour stretch. He goes to their houses to do the same. In the past, I was invited lots of times, along with the other wives and girlfriends. As we got older and kids came along, or for whatever reason, I'm not invited to participate. No other partners do either. It's probably been about 5 or 6 years. I've known these people for more than 20 years, and I like them. I like games too, but whatever, it's his friend group, not mine. To be clear, I am explicitly not invited to join in.
So it's not like there was a standing invitation and whenever she wanted, she could come. They just didn't bother inviting her every time. No, it sounds like they specifically said you aren't invited.
Yeah, they explicitly did not invite her.
Okay.
Now, when he hosts, I try to be out of the house doing other things. When I am home, I go to a different floor of the house and just hang out by myself. I say hi briefly when I see his friends, but I do not stick around or have longer conversations.
I feel like that's the polite thing to do.
He asked why I am like this with annoyance after the last one. He says one guy's wife is in the kitchen with them and cooks for them most of the day. She likes doing that. It's not a weird gender role thing.
Okay, I feel like it is a weird gender role thing because he's saying you should be doing it. This other guy's wife does this. Why don't you do this as my wife?
Another sits with them and chats. He says it's awkward that I don't do that and very clearly avoid the house entirely if I can. From my perspective, informed by a lonely childhood, I have absolutely no interest in hanging out around the edges of a social thing I am not invited to. That seems so sad, pitiful, and desperate.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if you hang around to chat with them, it seems like you're just hoping they'll invite you to stick around and play games with them. And then when they don't, you just like sadly are like, okay, have fun, bye.
I get that they're husband's friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to me that you would not invite your wife who also likes games to game night.
Yeah, I think that's really weird because they did all used to play. And then I get that like kids happen, and sometimes like one of our game nights got canceled because our friends had kids and were no longer able to attend weekly game nights.
Which makes sense.
Yes, and I was okay with that. I was like, when the kids are older, maybe we'll pick it back up. But that's the thing. When the kids are older, you pick it back up. It sounds like the wife is available now to rejoin game night, and it was explicitly told, no, you're not invited.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit hurtful.
That's rude.
From my perspective, informed by a lonely childhood, I have absolutely no interest in hanging out around the edges of a social thing I am not invited to. That seems so sad, pitiful, and desperate. I kind of had enough of doing that sort of thing more than 30 years ago. I am not invited. How could I possibly tell I am an annoyance, or too much, or affecting the dynamic from what they intended the dynamic to be by not having partners there? Further, it does hurt that I had been included and now I'm not. I really liked them and playing games. I guess that wasn't so much mutual. I am also kind of sad that I'm not in a marriage where couple friends are a thing. We're friendly to each other's friends, but he, while entirely welcome, also isn't interested in hanging out with my friends. Maybe that's a rare situation for people? It's not what he wants, and he has a right to that, but I can be sad about it. He seems to think I am therefore pouting and taking it out on him. I think if I'm not included, it's crazy that there would be a problem with me absolutely not being there. So tell me, am I being an awkward and rude asshole?
Well, if you're an awkward and weird asshole, then I am too, because that is exactly what I would do in this situation. I would just absent myself. The polite, hello, how are you guys, if you happen to see them in passing, But yeah, I would try and make myself scarce if I was specifically uninvited from this gathering.
Yeah, I think if a group specifically uninvited me from a game night, I am the level of petty where I don't want to be there to see the game night I'm not invited to.
Yeah, I'm not hanging around to just watch you guys play games and bring you snacks and things. No, I'm going to go find something more fun to do.
Yeah, I'm going to go make my own game night. A better game night.
That is exactly what I would do. Let's call up these men's wives and be like, hey, do you guys want to have a game night? And just have it at one of the other houses where the men are not. The men rotate weekly. The women also rotate weekly so as to not be in the same spot as the men.
Or whatever OP's friend group is, because she said she has her own friend group.
Yeah, that's also a good point. Go plan fun things with your own friend group. It doesn't have to be your husband's friends' wives you're doing things with. Get your own friends.
Well, she's got them, and they need to go and play board games while hang gliding.
Yeah. That.
And then OP has an edit to clarify some common questions.
Okay.
Why I'm not included is irrelevant. It's completely acceptable to want to hang out with your friends by yourself, even in a marriage. The change happened mainly due to ease of playing with a smaller crowd. It sucks for me, but no one is being explicitly mean to me by not including me.
Yeah, I still feels kind of mean.
I have stuff I'm happy to do on my own. I have my own friends. And while I get the nice intentions, I have no interest in making a friend group with the sole shared commonality of our husbands are friends. Or excluded spouse spite game day.
Okay, yeah, so she didn't like my initial idea. She just needs to do it with her own friends.
That seems extra soul-killing and sad to me for some reason. So she really didn't like your idea.
Yeah.
Top comment. He specifically brought up the wife who cooks for them all day. It may not be a gender thing, but it's definitely a servitude issue. He wants you to provide service and pleasantries without actually participating. That is horrible. If he wants a caterer, he can hire a caterer.
No, but that's not as cool because that means he had to pay someone. He doesn't just have someone at his beck and call for free.
OP replied, he actually really likes cooking and showing off his cooking for his friends. Even if I were invited, that would still be his thing to do. Somebody replied to OP, I think their point is, you're being expected to take the hosting duties part. You're supposed to chat, be nice, put on a show. Even if he cooks, it wouldn't surprise me if you ended up being sort of a kitchen runner. The food is there, but you're fetching it and drinks.
Yeah, why do I gotta play host to your friends? No, I'm dipping out. Bye. There are much better things to do with my time.
Someone else in the comments is quoting OP. If anything, I would consider it rude if I were to hang around when I'm not invited. There's no gray area in my mind. Exactly. They explicitly said they do not want OP involved. Why would OP think she's invited to lurk and hover? Why would anyone want to lurk and hover standing just outside the perimeter of the group like a skinny little British orphan boy holding an empty bowl of porridge, making puppy dog eyes and begging, please sir, May I have some more attention? While the cool kids laugh it up and have a great time doing something that used to be a together activity and is now an everybody except you activity. OP, it sucks that your husband kicked you out of game night and or allowed his friends to kick you out of game night. He doesn't want your company, he wants a barmaid to provide drink refills, or he wants a sexy lamp to give the boys something pretty to look at. Unfortunately for him, you are neither. If it bothers him that his house doesn't come with built-in bar and escort service, he's welcome to not host at your house anymore. Not the asshole. There's nothing that says you need to play hostess to a party you don't get to join. It's the prerogative of the other wives to host, but that doesn't mean anything for you. You can do as you please. Ask him why the invites for you to play stopped. OP replied, the invites stopped primarily to limit group size. That I and other partners are therefore always the ones excluded carries a different flavor in my opinion. But again, I am super sensitive to any indications that I may not be wanted. Further, and this is assumption, I tend to be more aggressive when playing anything. I can absolutely see that bringing a different dynamic. They like what they have going. That sounds like OP is too damn good at the games.
Yeah, they don't like her. She keeps winning. It's not fun when she plays. She always wins.
Yeah, we're just playing for fun, and OP always beats us. That's not fun. I didn't include the why because I don't think it matters. He's allowed to do what he likes in the way he likes it without me within reason. This is well within reason. I just have no idea why I should have to sit there and watch it from the edges.
Yeah, this is 100% because he wants to look cool in front of his friends. If this was something sweet and loving like, well, I just want to spend more time with you, well, then he would invite her to game day.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is how their relationship works, so I don't want to judge them too harshly on that. But if you ever wanted to join game night with me and my friends, I don't see any reason why I would ever say no.
I mean, maybe game night at someone else's house. Like, might feel like I couldn't invite you.
But this is like, it sounds like they were mutual friends up until kids started happening and things got crowded.
Yeah.
So even though she keeps calling them his friends, it sounds like they're your friends too.
Yeah, kind of. She's at least friendly with them.
Yeah, they were your friends until they uninvited you. So I don't know, OP. I don't think you're the asshole, but I think your husband is. Am I the asshole for refusing to buy my fiance a gaming laptop for a few grand after he told me to find a real job?
Well, if you don't have a real job, you obviously do not have that type of money to throw around. No, not the asshole.
My fiance, male 37, and I, female 30, have started living together 6 months ago. I own a house and he moved in with me. I run an online business from home, which allows me to live rather comfortably. A month after moving in, he quit his job, saying how much he hated it, and that he's going to try to do Twitch streaming for a living.
Oh, so he's a freeloader. Okay.
I'm all for following your passion, so I was supportive, although surprised at this turn of events.
I feel like this is something that should have been discussed and agreed upon before he just declared it was happening.
A month into moving in with you?
Yeah, he did not wait long for that.
I am in a financial position to support us both, but it felt off.
Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, nothing happened with his Twitch channel. Sure, he's gaming all day, but hasn't bothered to even try and create an account. He just games for pleasure.
Okay, so he's not doing Twitch. He's just playing video games without Twitch.
It sounds like it, because it's not that much harder to play video games while streaming.
Yeah, it really isn't.
He could at least be doing a bad job at it, right?
Yeah, he could at least, be better at pretending he's trying to make money doing this.
It's been 7 months. I've had conversations with him suggesting he finds work, but he keeps telling me that I'm unsupportive and he needs time.
Okay, I get that, starting a Twitch stream and making it a viable source of income can take time, but he needs to be showing that he is making some visible progress towards this goal at this point.
Yeah, plan things out a little bit. Track some metrics. Because I can track your metrics for you at this point. They're all 0.
Yeah, he's not even streaming. He doesn't have an account.
He wanted us to buy a bigger house together, but I said that I'm fine with my current one. And that since he doesn't have a job, I don't want to get a mortgage and be left with paying everything. And he told me that if I found a real job, maybe I wouldn't have financial problems.
Oh, she has financial problems. He just wants her to buy a new house so that he can get his name on the deed and then break up with her and take half of the money that she invested in the house.
God, I hope that she wouldn't put his name on the deed when they're not even married.
Wants to buy a house together. He said he wants to buy a bigger house together.
That's true. That is terrifying. We had a massive argument that night. Now he's been hinting at needing a new gaming laptop, which costs a few grand. And I've been ignoring it, so he asked outright for me to buy it for his birthday.
What is he getting you for your birthday that is going to be an equivalent and reciprocal? Sounds like nothing, because he's broke and doesn't have a job. Is he contributing anything financially towards this relationship and the living expenses?
It sounds like no, and I'm just trying to imagine the audacity to ask for a multi-$1,000 birthday present when you don't bring anything. Like, we comboed my good computer into my birthday present, but it's also for work. Like, even when we bought it when I was doing advertising and needed something I could edit on.
Yeah.
I told him no, that my fake job doesn't cover new laptops, and he got really pissed at me, telling me I'm selfish and I'm ruining his career. Granted, I can afford to buy it, but he really hurt me saying my business is not a real job despite me working my ass off. Am I the asshole for not buying him a new laptop?
1,000% no, not the asshole. You are the asshole for not kicking this man to the curb months ago.
The asshole to yourself.
Yes.
It's just like, I know no one wants to be the nagging partner.
Mm-hmm.
This man needs to be nagged. How does he not even made an account if he was trying to turn this into a career?
Maybe he thinks he needs to get good at the games before people will watch him play them on his streaming service. So he's not good enough to stream yet. He needs to practice. That's the only thing I can think of, and it's dumb.
Especially because it's so much fun to watch people who are bad at games.
Yeah, it's almost better than the people who are really good.
Yeah, I kind of like the YouTube videos that are just people failing. Those are way more fun. But also, it's not a career path that you should choose unilaterally when you live with someone else.
Yeah, he just got this girlfriend, was like, oh, she's got her own business. She's got her own house. She's bringing the money in with her little job. She's working from home. She's got it made. I'm going to move in with her, and then I just can take it easy. She's got everything handled.
Yeah, he wants to be a kept man, but he did not in any way give her any signals that that's what she was getting. Top comment, you sound intelligent. Is the D that good for all that BS? Not the asshole.
I was thinking that, but didn't want to say it. I was like, he must think his dick is magical to get away with this.
I mean, OP's letting him get away with it.
So maybe it is.
Somebody else replied, yeah, I was wondering what he brings to the relationship other than entitlement and laziness. OP, not the asshole, he's taking advantage of you. Not the asshole, but curious as to why you are referring to him as your fiancé and not your ex. Oh wait, they were fiancés? I thought they were just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, I missed that. No, do not marry this man.
Oh, they're further along than I thought. It felt off because it is. He showed you exactly who he is. Please believe him and move on. And instead of him worrying about what's in your pockets, he needs to be worried about the fact that nothing is in his. A partner makes deposits, not constant withdrawals. Cut the cord. Not the asshole. Wow. So he saw you make money with your own business and decided you can be his sugar mama, while he follows his dreams of being a professional gamer. Yeah, you know what? No. You have a real job. He has no job. And now he's going through some early midlife crisis trying to be some edgy famous gamer. Sorry, but he sounds like he's 19. He'll be 40 soon. He needs a real job, not you.
He's not even trying to be a famous gamer. He's just saying that he's gonna, and then he never does.
Yeah, like, you don't even need, like, a webcam to stream video games if you really want to just do a faceless channel. Like, it's so easy to make a Twitch account.
Yeah, it's easy to, like, make a Twitch account and try to get started making money. I do believe it is very hard to, like, make it big and actually make money on Twitch, though.
Oh, it absolutely is very hard. But making the account and failing at it isn't hard.
He knows he's going to fail, so he doesn't even want to try.
That's what I was thinking, too. It's way easier to just continue to say, when I make my account, I'm going to make it big.
Yeah, OP really needs to get rid of this guy. He can't even put in the minimum amount of effort to try and make a go of this. She can do so much better.
It takes like 3 days to start a streaming account if you're really being thorough on it. So, if you can't even do a half-assed attempt, yeah, OP, you're not the asshole and you can do a lot better.
That's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for watching, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. I feel like after that last story, we need to be like, and subscribe to the Josh and Kristie Twitch account.
You gonna start Twitch?
No, I don't want to. I don't have that kind of adrenaline anymore. Maybe we could do cozy games.
Just play Animal Crossing and Pokemon and what else are
Stardew
cozy
Valley.
games? I can play my word games.
Do Monkey Island.
I like Monkey Island.
Yeah, we're old. All of our games are on like the Super Nintendo.